Hello, Matajiri wenzangu. This is Liquidity and welcome to Shida za Matajiri. As always, Tajiri mkuu is here ready to discuss about your problems. And guess what? Tajiri amekuja na shida yake. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, shida ya Tajiri.
Hi Eli, hi Tajiri mwenzangu. I just miss that of saying be Eli. You're not even saying I'm Eli. When we get here, you're just the Tajiri. So hi.
Tajiri. How are you?
Rich. I'm doing fantastic. I'm happy to be here. Can't wait to talk about these problems of us, Matajiri.
Problems za Matajiri. And for those who are joining us for the first time, najua this program happens every single Thursday right here on TheArtsinHeart. Kuna majamaa wametuzoea sana, wameamua kwenda Facebook, lakini huko hatuko, tulihama. So tell them tuko hapa. And to start us off tonight, we are talking about this topic that a lot of you want and love talking about. Inaitwa investment. Investment or investments. How do you understand that, Tajiri mwenzangu, kabla nijilete hapa na uwerevu yangu?
Putting money where it's growing. Literally, that's it. You're getting your money, wherever you're getting it from. It could be whatever, savings, you borrowed, it's a loan, umeokota kwa barabara. But where you're putting it, it's gonna grow. That is investment.
Interesting, because growth is it's basically on your finances, your assets, and everything. When it comes to that, age is just one of the places that we forget. So the question that we are throwing to the audience out tonight is, at what age range should one invest in buying assets? Yes.
I think we should start by defining what is an asset.
Before you do that, as we ask them so that they can help us let them get the question, and then let me get back to you, Tajiri, kwa sababu apparently kuna definitions ya hizi vitu. So what is an asset?
No, let me get it from you, Eli. Ebu define an asset kwanza. Let me hear, how would you call it? What is an asset?
I will not use the dictionary wording. I will use the basically Tajiri language. Na kama Tajiri mkuu, what I believe an asset is that which that add value to the investment you've made, be it financially, be it time related, be it physical, in any aspect of your life, that which you put in and returns or add value to what you already have or exist with. That is my definition of investment, or an asset rather.
That's a great definition. And now when we base it into business, it's something that brings back money to you. So we have asset, we have liability. So liability is something that takes money from you. An asset is something that brings money to you, or something that can bring money. It doesn't mean where it is bringing money, but it can bring money. If you make a step, it can bring you money, right? And then the opposite of that is a liability that takes money. So we're talking about asset here. At what rate should you be investing in buying assets? Yeah. So you are right. Well, uko sawa, ni Tajiri mkuu.
So Tajiri mwenzangu, last week when we started off this conversation about debt and taking money to put into things that we believe are giving us money, one thing that stood out towards the end of that conversation was what we call the new euphoria in my country called kununua mashamba. And I threw in some questions and asked people, would you have bought if you knew a few things? And after that conversation, I had this, one of our friends, Nyanduko 254, came in and told me, Eli, mimi nilinunua shamba. Na nikamwaga mawe, mpaka leo mawe zimegwama hapo kwa mjengo ya site. So I'm trying to understand, Tajiri, why is it that when we are buying or we intend to invest in those which we believe are supposed to be of value to us, it becomes a matter of timing? Is timing important when you decide to buy?
Yes, very. Actually, that's the first thing that comes into mind when it comes to investing. Timing, because it's very key. You could be taking a very good investment, but your timing is off. So you need to be very careful when it comes to, I want to buy this. At what stage of my life am I buying this? And for what purpose? Is it going to serve me? Or am I buying because the society says we should? And I feel like Ellie, buying lands and, you know, getting to own lands is coming way back to when we were growing up. Because remember, in traditions, owning lands was like a wealth. It was known to be you're wealthy when you have lands. You know, when you have property out there, ukiwa na malands, hectares being up, you're wealthy. So I feel like unconsciously we tend to think if you have lands there, then you're one person who is extremely wealthy. And when someone comes and talks to me, sijai nunua kaland mahali, naambiwa, we, hebu tafuta, look for a land somewhere. Najua unafika 30, najua unaendelekea 40, kuna watoto, nunua land. I mean, that has been the issue. So people tend to run and be like, I'd rather buy a land somewhere, 50 by 100, put it there, let me move on. But I'll now be saying, mi nilinunua land by the, mi nakuanga na land. Mi nakuanga na land. But at what stage of your life are you buying this land? Is it serving you? And why are you buying it?
You know, when you talk and ask about at what stage of life are you buying this, I believe from where I see it, the most appropriate time of age, not really age, but space that you need to make such kind of an investment is when you look at purpose. Because we looked at investment and we talked about purpose. Is it a long or short-term goal? That is important. But then at what stage of financial muscle are you in? There are people who just started working. And probably you are at the age of 18. Lucky enough, around here at the age of 18, actually from the age of 16, a lot of young people are able to work. So, and this is paid as student, they call it student job. So you are allowed about 400 or 500 hours in a financial year to be able to work during the summer period. So what happens is they are equally paid same amount of money a normal job or employee will be working at. So, lucky this kind of young guy, if he's knowledgeable enough, what does he decide to do with the money? He saves up the money because he's still under the care of the parent. Now, understand these dynamics. This is a young man at about a young man, or by man I'm referring to both genders. At the age of 16, they are already working. So by the time they're going to the age of 18, this fellow has already gathered money that can easily buy him a car without a struggle.
Okay? Because he doesn't have responsibility.
Definitely. And now you're talking of responsibilities. That is the most important aspect to look into when you are looking into buying an asset. What is your current load in terms of responsibility? It is always
the asset.
Go ahead. And the asset?
And the you know, asset is diverse. Yeah, there are different types of asset. Yeah, and also what kind of an asset are you buying? Because as you buy and the age you are and where you are financially, then you're able to determine if I'm buying this thing, the goal of me buying this asset is this. Every time you're buying something or investing in something, it means you have a goal.
Definitely.
So at that stage, you need to understand what is my goal for me buying this. What is that goal? If it's now after looking at it, probably your goal is in the next 2 years. Is it going to serve that goal in those 2 years? That is something people don't look at. People are like, now I have the money I have saved. Let me just buy a land because we just need to have a land. For what? You can't tell why you're buying a land. You actually can't tell.
Because your friends are buying land. Everybody has gone to Kisaju. Everybody's in Kitengela, I don't know where. And now you feel the pressure to equally fit in to that kind of, people are persuading you to buy land. And I was coming to the aspect of responsibility that come with your age probably and your foundation financially. So when you're at the age of probably 18, you realize for your peers who are 18 and have never worked, some of them are not even able to afford to pay their own rent. Let alone buying anything in their name. So you see, the dynamics are quite different. So when you see this individual who is now able to make some money, And by the time they are making a little bit of money here and there, they are the age of 30 or 35 thereabout.
Or 35,
they decide, watu watanitambua. Kwanza simamisha hapo nini? Simamisha hapo Subaru yangu. On top of it, 2 weeks later, nunua shamba yako kisaa juu. Anza kujenga. Now, on top of that, this young man is having a young family.
Yes, very young. The family is now starting off to, you have small kids, probably 2 or just 1, looking forward into another one. So ka family ka kwako ndio umeanza. So you're still paying rent. Your kids are asking for diapers. That is the time probably your parents is like, uko na ka job. Nisaidie kidogo hapa na pale, my brothers and all that. So responsibilities are actually many at this particular moment.
Definitely. And you know what happens now? A lot of us will decide, my check is quite good. Good average. Let's say I'm earning about 1,000 euros per month. So what do I decide to do? Let me go for a loan to enable me do what? Buy this plot and then try build it up. Have a construction. But unknown to you, this construction is not going to end in 2 days. Because you have this mentality that I'm going to move in. So I have my own space. I can own it. I no longer have to be a tenant. Now, for lack of a better word, hiyo ni kujipiga nini? Miti.
Yes. So when you say you're taking a loan, let's start there. You're taking a loan, you've bought a land so you can, nyumba ipandisho uingie ndani to avoid paying rent. That's what people always are trying to avoid. They avoid paying rent. So to them, they feel like this plot is bringing money to you.
Yeah.
Because I'm not paying rent, so it means I have rent money. That's what people reason out. That's how people reason out. That because I have a plot, now I am not paying rent. So it means kuna pesa nilikuwa nafaa kulipa mahali, but now I have it. But they forget the moment you move to this house, it's taking money from you because you're paying a mortgage somewhere, you're paying that loan. So it's still taking money from you. Right? And just because you move to this house does not mean now everything else is taken care of. This house just takes care of itself. It washes itself, it cleans itself, it maintains itself. When you're there, because now remember the other things that have been happening when you're in a rental house. Now you are here, you're in your own house. You have to take care of it. You keep growing, you keep doing this. Things are happening. That is one thing that people, I think, don't really look at. So they're like, I'm going to avoid paying rent. I'm going to avoid paying rent. That's it. And I feel like it's not really a good move. It's not really a good move. You need to take a look at where you are. What are the things that are really number one priority for me? In terms of, at this point, I need something that can keep generating income. At this particular point in your life, because you have more responsibilities, probably you're a small family that is growing, you need more money coming in. And let me use the word cash, liquid money. You need some kind of liquid money coming in. Not necessarily an asset that is sitting somewhere waiting for I don't know what, to do for what. People don't think about that. And that's where the problem comes in. Then now you start struggling. Yes, you have a land, you've moved, but then you're struggling the whole of 35, 40, 50. By the time you figure 60, you're like, I wish this is the time I'm building now, but I've been able to achieve the other things starting when I was 35, going to 40, 50.
Another thing we were talking about, and probably we mentioned it, just passing it over. Before we go to that, let me just recognize everybody that is joining us tonight on our YouTube channel. We have Kama Kawaida, Kama Dawa, we have Boniface Witaba, #1 fan wetu wa YouTube. Karibu sana, akosema ako ndani. Tulihama na yeye pia akahama na sisi. Thank you so much. Nancy Magen says good evening to you. Ivan Haven anakuambia napenda hizo dread. Okay. Nimeshikanisha brother. Thank you so much. We have Kipro Road anasema the moment you start earning. Okay.
Oh God. I think she's responding to when
buying assets. When you start earning, nunua. Okay, what assets in this case?
Yeah, exactly. That's the point.
We have again, ameamua kutag watu huku ambao wamekuwa wamelala. Karibu sana wenye mmekuwa melala. Nancy goes ahead and asks, hope to get some interesting tips on how to spend my money. Definitely. we will be finding out how well we can spend the money. If some people have a lot of money, they should invest in real estate and so on. We have people who can advise you very, very good on how to invest. OMG. Wow, wow, wow. I know Frida is smiling kwa sababu hakuna ka idea. Anasema Njekita, save fast instead of running to taking a loan.
Yes.
Shida za Matajiri. We are speaking here tonight and we are trying to converse about, investments. Most of us call them investments. And some of us are realizing some of these sleeping assets will actually harm your liquidity ability. So what are some of these sleeping assets that could be a bad idea buying? Just when you started working.
Let's start with land. I know Kipro is going to go for me, but let's start with land. Like, why are you buying a land when you just started earning? And I feel like the moment you buy a land, let me tell you, Ellie, the moment you buy a land, you've capped I'm sure if you're starting earning and you buy a land, you've taken a loan. Because you start earning, you've not like saved enough to be able to buy a land. So probably you've taken a loan, you bought a land. So now your money is going somewhere. So you're now stuck waiting to pay. So you can open up your finances again for you to be able to access probably another loan or do other things. So at this point in your life, when you start earning, I feel like that's the point you need to explore on assets that you're taking risks that are higher there. So you can make mistakes that can teach you more, that can also get you understanding the finances aspect of your life. Because the moment you buy a land, you have a 300,000 somewhere, you feel, and in the next 5 years, you're estimating it's going to be probably 500K. But at this point, what are you doing? You're just going to work probably, or maybe, some income is coming. So on a land will settle. But now let's give a case scenario of someone who decided to take that money and they had started some kabiashara and decided, let me grow, let me put some more, buy more. I've been selling, 50 of these products in a month. What if I add more and sell 100 or maybe 200? You look at this person and you are like, sasa mbona ulianza kabiashara wewe? So ukinunua land, you feel at that point like you're doing better than them. But at long run, who is smiling? Who is going to smile last? Because by the time your land is appreciating to 500K and now start looking for people probably to buy, to get your 500, this other person has already made the mistakes. They already have income coming in. They know how business run. They know how, there's liquid money. It's easy for them to do this, sell this product, get money. When you talk about liquidity is where you have an asset that it's easy to convert it to cash.
Yeah, definitely.
So then, yes, it's easy to convert it to cash. So as you get into asset, you need to also look at your liquidity. How easy is it for me if I'm stuck? At what point in my life I am right now? If I am stuck, whatever I have as an asset, can it be converted to cash easily for me to move on? That's the point. The moment you are able to say, yes, I can convert this easily and get cash, then your asset is serving you at that particular moment. But when you have to feel like, oh, yes, it's there, but I have to take 3 years before I sell that thing, then it's not serving you. Yes.
Definitely. You see, another probably tip I would love to give tonight on this issue is, one, take investment loans when you are stable. That is important. Take an investment loan when you are stable. And by stability, we are talking about you have a minimum revenue that can cover your primary needs, such as rent, your monthly bills, your recurrent expenditures. That's okay. My water bill is fixed. If I have to pay school fees, which nowadays people think is an emergency, it's taken care of. If you have to, eat, you have basic expenditures that are covered. So that is the most important aspect when you are looking to invest. Now, another thing, everybody wants to be a businessman, and you know that. Yes, niko na pesa hapa, ninaweza fungua kiosk. And we see this in the days when, this very good brand in Kenya that is a money, let's say a mobile money transaction company. They came up with this great idea project, and the next day, everybody on that street had a kiosk here, had a kiosk there. Somebody who has no basic knowledge in finance or business, they will never manage it. Even if they were to give in a cattle dip in their village, they will never manage it. But everybody wants to do business. So Have a clear project with your money or business idea with a clear objective and milestones. Where do you want it to go?
Yes.
And how far can you see it growing? Because it's one thing to put up a whole full stack of papers and to look at the reality on that business and where you're setting it up. I remember back in our years, we used to study this subject called business education, and they used to tell us location is important. Look at your competition. Look at your clientele. Who is going to buy from you? Don't just wake up one morning, oh, Frida is doing this and that. I also have to do it. Ikona pesa. Ikona pesa. Everybody's a content creator. Okay, that's the new cash cow. Everybody's a content creator. Nobody tells you that actually creating content costs a lot of money.
A whole lot of it, and time. Leave alone even money.
Time. And
you know, time is an asset. Yeah, you know, time is an asset. Yes,
especially if we don't use you as laying around and just watching those funny movies online. So once you do that, go ahead. I had another point, but go ahead.
Now that you've mentioned that you need to be able to take care of your primary needs before now you get into the investment, I think there is one thing we need to put it out here, that as you say, taking care of the primary is looking at, if I'm taking this loan, so you already putting that into perspective, that if I'm taking a loan, that means I'm paying 20K. So meaning there's 20K getting out of my pocket. So before you come and say, I am able to take care of this, don't calculate the 20K inside of that. Remember, it's going somewhere. So it means whatever you are getting, if it's 50, 20 is getting out. So are you able to live with that, with the 20 getting out?
Yeah. Yes. Definitely. And you see, most of the time, that's where we are going. When people come into that idea, now they are selling, they see, there's revenue coming in.
Yes.
Please remember that which you see coming in, and especially if you're the acquired loan, is not your money. Yeah. And repaying that, it's part of a charge. And as long as you've not broken even, my friend, hiyo pesa unaona kipitia kwa mikono yako tajiri mwenzangu is not your money.
Trust me. Yes.
And that's why a lot of people end up not paying up their loans. Go ahead, Frida.
Yes, because they don't keep record. You've taken this money and then you keep selling. So probably I'm buying product somewhere at 1,000 and I'm selling at 1,200, right? So when I get the 1,200, I should remember that 1,000 is my product. The 200 is my profit. So when you come back and look at your sales and you're like, hey, today I made 5K. Yes, you made 5K. But in reality, how much have you made if today you are still to go back into business? Because remember, when you sell the products, you have again to come and get others. Because remember, business aishi sai, you've got to restock, you've got to revamp your business, marketing. Those are other things that people don't even think about. You are doing this. There are other things that are coming along. There are so many things you have to do. So get to have your record so that you get to know what is the revenue and now what is my profit really. That's why people go down when it comes to businesses or investment, because you didn't calculate the two and separate that this is this and this is what I can actually use.
To take you back to the first point that I made about age, and I was asking at what age should one actually buy into assets, there is no specific age. That's the honest truth. The only difference is what is your current financial status. How stable are you? How able can you meet those requirements that we've put on your screen? If you're able to identify with that, then even 40, 50, 20 is not a problem. But allow me to say this. If you're still a young man at the age of 18 and you're working, chapeau, meaning well done. One thing you shouldn't do is probably start a family. Take your 20 years, 30, put something in your pocket. At 35, you are able to do your own house or probably acquire a mortgage. If only some people were told this, probably they'll be rich. Na hawangekuwa na shida za matajiri. Frida, what do you have to say before we call it a night?
Time, there's something we call time value for money. that thing we call time value for money. What you have right now in the next 10 years is not the same value. The 1,000 we have right now in the next 5 years is not the same value. It's the same 1,000, we'll call it 1,000, but can it do the same things that you're doing? So when you start thinking that way, you'll also think about your investment wisely. To know if I am able to use this 1,000 properly, then I need to multiply, because I need to multiply my 1,000, because this 1,000 in the next 5 years, it's not going to be 1,000. So put your money somewhere where you know in the next 5 years, the value of that money will have raised just as much as time is moving.
Great. Let me just get to the comment section very fast. We have save fast instead of running, taking along. That we had actually looked at it. We have Kipo Roda who tells us exactly save, then get along to add on what you have saved. Awesome, awesome. We have Makomile Gilbert. Finally, I'm talking holiday. Don't wait to have enough. It will never be enough. Invest in appreciating properties and learn from the market, because at times
learn from the market,
there is always what we call property crunch. Okay, fine. If you burn your fingers, at least you've experienced that is growth. Amesema habari zenyu matajiri, mzuri sana tajiri mwenzetu. We have investment is not only land or plots, as many will assume, and that we have to agree on. You also have bonds, equities, treasury bills, which a lot of people have no idea how they work. But trust me, they could be your next gear to the next level of your life. Set up a business. In fact, Kenya Treasury, these are good investments with quite good returns. If you didn't know,
I wish the 18 young people would actually really know more about that, so they can invest their money there. That is good investment.
Definitely. So Frida, unfortunately, because sisi Matajiri, we never have enough time to discuss Shida za Matajiri. But again, let's do this again next Thursday, as we focus more on, how we are spending our monies. Tuendelea kuspend pesa yetu kwa investment ama tulete pesa yetu kwa mambo mengine. We'll find out next week, because I would love for us to discuss this savings you call niko na insurance. Unajua hiyo saving? Niko na insurance. On behalf of everybody that made this program a success, thank you so much. I would love to see you on Friday in the creative space with one and only Nduko 254 Eshuchi Lumumba, of course, our very own newly found talent in matters interviews. Freedom Gugu. Good night. God bless you.
Good night.